people, welcome to this channel if this is your first time, and if you're a returning subscriber, thank you for being a part of this community. So nice to have you. And if you've been watching these videos for a while and you've not subscribed, I know you love making great decisions, and one of the greatest decisions you can make is to do what? Subscribe to this channel. So make that decision now, subscribe. And for first timer, please join me making that decision too. So let's just go right into what we have today. And this was actually inspired by one of the viewers, which is on how to get rid of old habits. You need to unlearn. So I would basically be sharing tips that have been helping me and that are generally helpful to unlearn old habits. The first disclaimer is you need to understand that the fact that I said get rid of old habits does not necessarily mean that you sleep yesterday night with that habit and by this morning you don't have such habit again. I mean that it takes process. Getting rid could actually be process because you forming that habit was something that happened over time. The habit did not jump on you, so unlearning it too, you have to allow it to take time, as much time as it would. So no rushing. I'm going to use an illustration of a child that wants to learn how to walk. Yes, because walking can actually be an habit. The first thing you do whenever you stand up is you walk, because it has become part of you. The first day the child will try, and for like 2 or 3 days he might not try. Then before it gets to a point that he begins to try every day, till it now becomes part of him. So that's the same way it is. Like, don't just expect it to happen. The first step to healing or getting rid of an habit is you know that, okay, this habit is wrong. That's like the first step. For you to be watching this video simply means that you know you need to get rid of that old habit or that terrible habit. So that's like the first step to healing, identifying that habit. Now that you've identified the habits you want to get rid of, you need to do what? Study that habit. Studying the habit will help you identify the triggers. Okay, this is what happens before I get to do this. Or maybe if you are the kind of person that gets angry easily, get to know, okay, anytime someone talks to me anyhow, this is what happened. Find your why. As we all know that when you don't know the use of a thing, abuse is inevitable. The moment you understand why, it will help you in your unlearning journey. And in identifying your why, you need to write it down, because in writing, your goals become clear. You know, okay, this is exactly what it is. And it will even help you go online, research on why you need to get rid of this habit. Probably it's smoking and all of that. So you get to identify your why, write it down and put it somewhere around you, that when you see your why and you are probably almost forgetting about why you need to get rid of that habit, you can pick it up from where you stopped. Okay, so now that you've identified and you study the habits, you know the triggers. One thing that I do that I know will always help is prayer. See, I'll just carry myself like that and say, God, you have to help me. Now let me cite an illustration. There was a time that I used to be very blunt. I mean very blunt. I have been so blunt that I told someone something and the person went to cry. But when I was young, they wanted to report me to my parents. But that day I begged. I said, sir, you just have to have mercy on my life. Eventually, my parents didn't get to know what happened. After identifying why, and I could pick that one of the triggers is when I'm super excited or I'm very hungry, just forget it. I'll just say my mind, and I wasn't really caring about what my mind was actually doing to people. Now the difference is between being blunt and being sincere is, with sincerity you understand that, okay, this person has done this thing, but at the same time you include love because you want to consider this other person. But in being blunt, you just want to say your mind, you're just selfish, and that's it, you don't care. So I just went to God. After I discovered that this thing was affecting my relationships with people, I could just be talking with someone and we are like laughing right now, and then the next 2 minutes everything has changed, countenance has changed because I said something. So I just went to God and I kept praying. Eventually, I started getting out of it. Now, when it comes to getting out of it, I've mentioned it earlier how that it's processed. For somebody else, you might have to pray for long, like I had to keep on praying, and I was seeing the result of my prayer. But for some other people like Ben Canson, who had temper issues and he went to God, he prayed for like 3 hours, and before you know it, like he knew God had dealt with that temper issue for him. It depends on the urgency of the issue or how long you've had that habit. So whatever it is, pray to God. God, this is my issue and I know I cannot help myself. This will lead me to having an accountability partner. Now, when you have an accountability partner, the person doesn't necessarily have to be going through that thing with you, and at the same time the person can be going through such with you. That way you find strength together. I remember when I was always using a tone of voice to talk, and the people that matter to me were like, you cannot be talking like this, like they don't appreciate it. So I told a friend of mine that I really want to work on this thing. Anytime I switched to that tone, you just be like, you know what, you just switch down. So I had to like tell myself that no, let me come back. I have to say the right thing again after I must have gotten rid of that. This will now lead me to when you are unlearning a terrible habit or an old habit, then you need to replace it with a new habit. Because it's just like someone that a devil has been cast out from, and then you now just leave that place vacant. These guys will come back 7 times. So it is important that as you are unlearning the habit, you are replacing it with something else. Probably yours is smoking. As you are trying to unlearn smoking, you are replacing it with, okay, this period I spend on smoking, I want to begin to spend it on studying God's word, or on filling myself with God's word, memorizing God's word, just confessing God's word to my life. Yours could be maybe you eat too much. As you are learning to like get rid of caffeine or Coke or any fizzy drink, replace it with taking water, not that you just be there. Now, I would like you to know that while you are going through that process, there are times that there will be slip-ups. You probably forget that you've been doing this habit, or you just be like, wait, what's even it's gone? See, those things are just emotions. Like, that's a result of the fact that you just need dopamine as a result of what you've been doing over time. So don't allow your emotions to rule over you, okay? So just in case you have slip-ups, like I have always been saying, continue from where you stop. Now, moving to another point is, because I mentioned that you should understand your why, learn to break down your whys into different steps such that you know how to reward yourself and also celebrate your progress, because you started learning this habit, or learning it too will take a while. So that process, continue to celebrate yourself. One thing that should take you through this whole process is keep visualizing yourself for learning that old habit and having a new habit. Yes, it is very, very important. Visualizing is different from wishing, and then you begin to tell everybody, no, that's not the point. The point is see yourself doing it, and then seeing yourself will help you take action. One last point I would like you to know before I go is, see, you've had bad habits and people have enjoyed the consequence of your habits. And have it at the back of your mind that people are not switches that you can just switch on and switch off like a light bulb. So you actually have to give them time to understand that you are changing. And it is with the consistency of the result of your change that will make them change their mind. Oh wow. The consistency of the result of your change will make them change their mind that you have really changed. Oh my God. What's it? So please, just give people time and just be consistent. Have it at the back of your mind that they've gone through the effect of whatever you were doing. So don't expect them to just start believing you. Just remain consistent, and eventually they will come to appreciate the fact that you have changed. So with this, I've come to the end of this wonderful talk show, and I hope you enjoyed every bit of your stay. So if you like what you see, give it a like. If you enjoyed, give it a thumbs up, and comment, give other tips that you have, and please give recommendations to, like, someone suggested this video, so you can always give your suggestions. Yes, I'll be waiting for them. So till I catch you in my next video, take care of yourself, be good, and know that, like, I love you so much. Please don't forget to subscribe.